Hello and welcome to this week's LOLC Securities Weekly Market Roundup, the sound of profitability. I'm Tharandu Amarasek. According to new projections from the World Bank, Sri Lanka is expecting to have a modest economic growth of 2.2% in 2024, followed by a 2.5% economic growth in 2025. Also, it expects a modest increase of inflation gradually from that year, along with a small current account surplus as well. The crisis-hit nation makes a faster than expected recovery from its worst financial crisis in decades. Sri Lanka secured a $2.9 billion bailout from the IMF in March last year. This helped it to temper inflation, increase state revenues, and rebuild foreign exchange reserves after its economy crumbled in 2022. While prices have eased off recently, the World Bank estimates the poverty rate in Sri Lanka will remain above 22% until 2026. It was about 26% in 2023 compared to pre-COVID levels of 11.3% in 2019, according to the World Bank. According to popular travel and lifestyle website timeout.com, Sri Lanka takes first place for the destinations for women's solo travel, especially in an era where Gen Z women who have been surveyed, and more than half of them have said solo travel is the trend that they are looking forward to engage in. This is indeed another boost to the tourism sector of Sri Lanka. Popular website timeout.com had identified multiple destinations in Sri Lanka for solo travel of women. It included Dambulla and Sigiriya, Nuwara tea plantations, Arugambe, Mirissa and Hikkaduwa, especially for those seeking for a more relaxing. The construction sector has been one of those sectors that has been facing quite a dull time period across several years, mainly due to the local and global financial crisis which we witnessed following the COVID-19 pandemic and many other factors. Finally, it seems that this sector is coming out of that dormant time period into a more busier time where the PMI, Purchasing Managers Index of the construction sector, shows a value of 57.1, continuing an activity trend. The widely watched PMI index for the construction sector recorded 57.1 index points for February, up from 52.9 index points in January. Surveyed participants spoke of large-scale infrastructure projects, particularly the ones which are foreign funded, are now coming for bidding at the tenders. Sri Lanka for nearly 2 years had suspended large-scale infrastructure projects since 2022, and the country ran short of foreign currency. With the Red Sea tensions showing no sign of easing up, the amount of vessels calling upon the ports of Sri Lanka are on the rise. This is indeed good news for the logistics sector of Sri Lanka as well, and the overall bunker sales volumes, the supply of fuel and oil to these vessels, has shown a 33% surge in the Colombo port alone. Ports on India's west coast, particularly Kochi and Mumbai, are grappling with disrupted VLSFO, very low sulfur fuel oil supplies. A Bunker World survey revealed a significant surge in bunker sales volume at Colombo, reaching 40,000 metric tons per month, up from an average of 30,000 metric tons per month prior to the disruption in the Red Sea region. And now it's time for this week's corporate highlights. According to local food and beverage giant Maliban, the amount of households returning back to consuming milk powder has crossed 1 million. This is a positive sign for the industry, and they do caution that the tough period may be over, but the progress is expected to be slow. The monthly milk powder consumption, which was about 7,000 metric tons pre-COVID, dropped to about 3,000 metric tons over the last 3 years, mainly due to the price increases caused by the increase in the US dollar, an increase in global market milk prices, and a hike in government taxes. According to Ravi Jayawardena, Maliban Group CEO, it would take a minimum of 2 years for the domestic milk powder industry to bounce back to pre-COVID consumption in terms of volume. LOLC Gas has announced a substantial price reduction of its domestic LOLC branded LPG cylinders. This, they say, is mainly due to the positive developments of the economy in Sri Lanka. In the statement made by LOLC Gas, the factors contributing to this development includes appreciating value of the Sri Lankan rupees against the US dollar, reduction in interest rates, and the availability of ample forex facilitating the opening of letters of credit. The price of a 12.5 kilogram domestic cylinder under the LOLC brand will be reduced by Rs 625.
Hi, I'm Amrita Al-Hakun and this is the International Business Highlight. India weighs the option of enabling gas-fired power plants to cater to the increasing demand in electricity during the peak months of April to June. In a statement issued by the Ministry of Power, the government is set to look at imposing Section 11 of the Electricity Law, which authorizes them to order these power plants to operate. India is headed for crucial elections that coincide with the summer months of April to June that witness scorching heat waves in many parts, pushing up demand for electricity. Heat waves are expected for 10 to 20 days in different areas during the 3-month period. India previously invoked the emergency rule to ask plants running on imported coal to operate at full capacity. These directions, which had been in force until the end of June, will now be effective through September.
And that's it for this week's LOLC Securities Weekly Market Roundup. No matter what business decision you make it with the right intel. I'll see you next week.